Hello, and welcome to The Gathering, a Magic podcast. My name's Stanley, and I'm here with some of my best friends to talk to you about our favorite game, Magic the Gathering. And, yeah, I guess I'll just address the elephant in the room real quick first. If you're watching on YouTube, you see four beautiful faces and a black square where my ugly face usually is. Um, I'm old and broken, and I don't have a light source in my office, and it's a real mess here. So you'll have to just imagine the clown of the group is here. Uh, yeah, I rehearsed that for sure.
You're not allowed to call yourself old. We got Santa right there. Oh, there it is.
What's really funny is on my screen you were just pointing at Julianne instead of Ron. So I'm really curious who you'll end up pointing at in like the production version of the podcast.
Yeah, because on my screen
around.
I was pointing at the Stanley Dark Cube.
Oh, that's so funny.
Wow. To me, I was pointing to Ron.
Yeah. I see, but I'm old at heart. Like, I've been retirement age since I was like 8, so my body's just like kind of catching up at turbo speed. Um, Gosh, I can't believe how long we're talking about this. Anyway, it's been 2 months since we've had a podcast episode, which is a long time. Of course, a lot has happened, and we are going to not talk about all of it, but we're gonna hit the highlights. So we'll talk about RC Houston, Spotlight Liverpool, Spotlight Baltimore, which came before Spotlight Liverpool, and RC Vegas happened most recently. And there were some standard bans, and yeah, a lot happened. So we'll start with Houston, which I was not in attendance for, and turn it over to these guys to talk about how much fun they had in Houston.
Yeah, Houston was so long ago at this point. I almost forget I went. But yeah, RC Houston happened. I decided to play Amulet Titan because I wanted to challenge myself. I literally didn't know what the Amulet Titan combo was 3 months ago. So I learned how to play that deck in 2 weeks, and I wanted to see how I would do. What's up, Sully? I went 7-2 day 1. Which was great, and then I didn't win a match day 2. So unfortunate way to round it out after starting off pretty well day 1. But yeah, I didn't really have much to play for, so I was literally just playing the broken deck and seeing how it would work out. I don't know if Julianne, you want to say anything about your experience playing your deck?
I played Boros Energy. And I don't remember anything about Houston except I did bad.
The goat.
I remember I lost my fourth loss to a weird Golgari Titan list. And
you were saying they had Toxic Deluge and stuff and Grist.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a fun way to go out. It was interesting, but
It was a foreshadowing of the return of Grist to Modern.
I guess so.
Badgermore Cub has brought back Yawgmoth.
If I remember correctly, they did have a Grist in their 75, at least one. So they were really cooking.
Nice.
I remember I watched my goat Hunter lose his win-in to the Pro Tour in the last round in the Bruce Scale Mirror. That was very heartbreaking. And then fast forward to Vegas where he went 2-4, so very sad. But yeah, rough time for him as well.
Yeah, RCs you never really know at these big events. Since I'm big prowess gamer in Modern, was pretty inspired by Justin Schrabel's back-to-back performances at the Spotlight and then the Pro Tour. Um, he did not do great at either regional championship, which is like, not to say anything bad about him. He's proven through and through that he's fantastic at the deck, but probably a good reminder for us and everyone listening that like, doesn't matter how good you are, you can have a bad tournament. Like, it's, you start from zero at every tournament, especially these really big ones, and anything can happen to anyone. So it's tough out there. It's stiff competition, and random is random, and we do what we can, but we can't control it all. That's for sure.
Yeah, and the guy who won the Pro Tour went like X4 drop day one at Houston, and the dude who won Houston, Vinny, did not do well in Vegas. So
Oh, wow.
can't win them all.
I actually played against the guy who won the Pro Tour in Houston. He was 6-3. I know that because we were both 6-2, and I beat him on the last round. But yeah, he didn't finish particularly well. But I do think it's funny that I ended up playing against him. I was like, great, my last round has to be against this guy, and I like 2-0'd and wasn't really close. I was like, okay, I guess.
Yeah, Magic's crazy, man.
I do remember, like, round 3, I 2-0'd Gorios with energy and in like 20 minutes, and I was waiting for Nick to finish his match, and he was like, how'd you do? And I was like, oh, I 2-0'd Gorios in 20 minutes, and he was like, how? Like, what happened?
Yeah, that is a one-sided match if I've ever seen one. It's not in energy's favor. So, but like we say, turn 1 Ragavan, turn 2 Blood Moon. No bad matchups.
No bad matchups. That's Boros Basement, baby.
Boros Basement.
Who's saying that?
Who's saying that?
Where's the proof?
Residents of the Boros Basement say that.
Oh.
I think the most interesting part about Houston is that Jeskai Blink won, where like I don't think that was really, I mean, it wasn't a deck on my radar whatsoever. Like, I guess like one person played at the Pro Tour and they went like 9-1 in Constructed, so like that's the reason people like kept playing it. But it is super interesting that like this small subset of players decided to play it in Houston and did really well, and then one of them won the whole tournament. But it's also very interesting how we just kind of, I mean, we'll get to it when we go to Vegas as well, but we kind of just see this like rotation of the modern format just in the span of like 2 months between the Pro Tour and then RC Houston and then RC Vegas, where it just feels like the metagame was different at all 3 of these events, despite like no new cards coming out and just like natural changes in the metagame. Like, I thought it was super interesting.
Modern's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good thing to pick back up when we talk about Vegas. And I was trying to like smooth transition us a little bit.
Do you want to transition to Vegas and then we'll do the spotlights after?
Well, I guess that's a lot more logical, huh? Talking about modern than
because we
standard.
talk about modern anyway. So
Okay, I'm just gonna quickly say I had that really smooth transition queued up where I was like, speaking of anything can happen, how did Leyline win Spotlight Baltimore?
Oh, yeah.
It's like
Yeah,
crazy that
Yeah.
the return of Leyline, we never saw that coming. But you're right. We should talk about Vegas, which is the RC that I attended, and Jeskai Blink was everywhere. Yeah,
And it
Jeskai
did bad.
Blink. Yeah, it really like took a huge percentage of the meta and then did very mediocre and just dominated the draw bracket. The 2 matchups I was focused on that like you and I tested before the event was Blink and Titan, and those decks were big, and Titan won the whole thing, and both were dominating the draw brackets too. And my Vegas was something. I really liked the deck that I ended up with. Like, Nick and I spent 6 or 7 hours at his house, like Monday. Jacob,
Bro,
get out of here.
why? Why'd you have to do it?
Oh my god. trying to grind out the last few details of my list and just playing against Blink and Titan. And I really was appreciative that Nick took the time to learn Titan because then that meant I got to speed run learning playing against Titan, which was really nice. I had a Titan player compliment my usage of Tormod's crypt. He was like, "Dude, you timed your crypt perfectly. People usually mess that up, and I just get to combo anyway." So that was nice. Titan's a really intricate deck. You don't have to know enough to play it, but you should know enough to like ensure your opponent is doing everything correctly, and you should know like the critical cards. I think I popped Crypt when the trigger to copy, or the activated ability to copy Titan with Mirror Pool was on the stack. And my opponent, like, and this is where it's really important to be really precise. Like, usually when your opponent does that, they don't move Mirror Pool to the graveyard. They just, like, do it and then make the copy and then put Mirror Pool in the graveyard and, like, go. But I was like, and I pick up Mirror Pool to double check. I'm like, sacrificing is part of the casting cost, so this is in your graveyard now, right? He's like, oh yeah. I'm like, cool. Shifting Woodlands is in there too. Snipe your graveyard, and that cuts off the combo there, where he just has 2 Titans and that's it. But it's definitely a deck where like precision is very important, and I did not have that level of precision playing against it before Nick learned playing with it. So. Titan, maybe it's gonna go away, maybe it's not, but it's very valuable to learn at least enough of the intricacies to be able to follow and attack it. But yeah, anyway, my tournament was a bit awkward. I really liked my deck. I ended up in the draw bracket very early, which has literally never happened to me at an RC, so that was really unpleasant, to be honest. At the time, I was really excited to end up in the draw bracket because I worked really hard to not lose that match. I played against Jeskai Blink, and I like drew a 7-card hand. It was really slow, and I was like, I can't win this matchup with a slow hand. I drew a 6-card hand. It was really slow, and I was like, I can't win this matchup with a slow hand. And I kept a slow 5, and I lost game 1, but I made it interesting. And then game 2, I mulligan a slow 7 and keep a slow 6, and it was crazy. I like could not find any of my like 1-mana threats. I didn't really have that problem the rest of the tournament, but just that one match, I couldn't find any like fast hands. So anyway, I was way behind in game 2, and eventually turned it around with like double Riddler, draw 3 cards. Like I killed him in game 2 on turn 4 of turns. So like we almost didn't even finish turn 2. But I just managed to stabilize, and Riddler turned the corner, and I was very like pumped at that point, and felt good because I really worked hard for that win. But then being in the draw bracket meant that I had to play against Titan and just got Blink the rest of the go, and it just didn't quite fall my way. Flage plus Arena of Glory is pretty broken, so that was that. But I forced myself to play Magic on Sunday, even though I really didn't feel good. I felt like the worst I'd felt in a long time, because we skipped over Liverpool, but Liverpool went terribly. And my main event went terribly, and like Liverpool, I'll maybe like talk about this more when we talk about Liverpool, but like Liverpool I played badly for several reasons. But at the end of the day, like I played badly, and I think like almost every loss that weekend I could point to a critical misplay or a critical like missed line. Whereas like Saturday at Vegas, I was like, dude, I did everything right. I felt like my deck was perfect. I felt like my play was perfect, and I just kept catching L's. Like my main issue against my 2 losses against Jeskai was like, well, all 4 Unholy Heats are in the bottom half of my deck, and my opponent Entombed Flage, so guess I'll just die. it was completely different. I was really not feeling good because not only did I do badly, I just kind of didn't have any explanation for it. But I'm in Vegas, so the alternative to playing the Sunday Super is like lose a ton of money on the blackjack tables, which I can't really afford. So I decided I'll just force myself to play the Sunday Super, and I'm not going to change a single card in my deck. I'm just going to kind of like trust the testing that I did on Moda. I'm going to trust the testing that I did with Nick. I'm like felt really good about my deck and play, so I'm just going to trust myself. And I didn't lose a match on Sunday. So 501 got an RC invite to Cincy/DC, got $550. It was like honestly better than I would have done in the main event if I had scraped into day two at 6-3 or something like that, or even like 6-2-1. Of course, there's those like miracle runs that people go on, but yeah, I was really happy. I had a fun game match in round two. I sat down, and the guy who sits next to me, not the person I'm playing against, but the guy who sits next to me, is excitedly talking about how in his previous match he like mulliganed really low and then just didn't play any cards in game one and just watched his opponent play game one, so he knew what he was playing against. And then he sideboarded and he won the match even though he didn't play game one. And his opponent didn't know what he was playing in game two, so his opponent only got to sideboard for game three. And I remember distinctly kind of laughing in my head a little bit, thinking like, I'm glad those days are behind me. Because I used to be a very like funny Magic player or creative Magic player. Like I used to think things like that were really big brain. And so I'd always like look for opportunities to do like goofy stuff. So anyway, then my match starts and I mull the 4 and I go, all right, well, I guess I'm just going to watch my opponent kill me and not play a single card so that I can sideboard and they can't. It was just such a like, I don't know if you would say karma or whatever, but it was really funny that my opponents like talked about this and I was like, I'm glad those days are behind me. And then I'm looking at 4 cards and I'm on the draw and my opponent goes Mountain Swift Spear and I'm like, okay, I'm not going to play any cards this game. And then, yeah, I spoiled it. So I did just barely eke out that prowess mirror. Yeah, otherwise, it was a really depressing Saturday, but a really good Sunday. I didn't really feel good for most of it still. I was mostly like just playing, waiting for the bad vibes to return, but then I kept winning, so all cold streaks must come to an end. It felt really good to kind of break out of the funk, because I did not do well in Liverpool, and I did not do well on Saturday, but after Sunday I felt pretty validated that I still know how to deck build, still know how to play Magic. And then Titan won the event, which was kind of exciting, not gonna lie. I was rooting for him. I'm not a Titan lover, but for some reason I was rooting for Titan. I couldn't tell you why I was rooting for Nathan, but
I can tell you why.
Why?
Team Flexlaw Diamond, Nathan Goldberg. Of course you're gonna root for him. Of course.
Honestly, that's not why, but like when you texted me like Flex Slot 1, I was like, did they? And then I saw that he did have the Flex Slot jersey.
Yep.
What was he playing against? He beat Energy.
That was the other very interesting part about Vegas is there was this breakout deck of the Is It Cutter deck, but with the Opal Emery Tamio stuff going on instead of like the Prowess stuff. Where like this was a deck that existed like 4 or 5 months ago because I was playing it and I really enjoyed that deck, but I just like wasn't really that good. And then for whatever reason, people were like, "Oh, this deck's good again." For I don't know why, but they're like, "Yeah, it's good now." So then they show up to this event and they did really well.
Yeah.
I think it's like because I tried it when Pinnacle Emissary got printed, and then I was like, "Well, this Pinnacle Emissary card's just better with Kappa Cannoneer." So you like cut all the cutters out of your deck and cut all the so you just go like hard affinity. And so I think they were just like, well, this deck is better against the Affinity Hate and faster, so let me just play that. Because everyone was main decking like Strict Serenade and, Brathos guys, and deck's just better against it. But yeah, I mean, I think it's cool that the guy who got second, his brother got second in Houston, so now they get to go to the World Championship together. It's pretty dope.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was really cool.
And then Energy had a really good tournament. Like, people were like, for the Pro Tour and for Houston still, Energy was like a bad choice. But then somehow we get to this point where Energy's a good choice again.
It's back.
I know, yeah, Energy's back. The Boros Basement is back.
It's like the Jund. It's the new Jund of Modern. It's like everyone's like,
Yeah.
oh, Jund's bad. No. Like,
Yeah.
it's just,
I mean, I think, like, the real reason is because everyone who was playing Goryo's Vengeance decided to start playing Jeskai Blink. And Jeskai Blink is a much better matchup for Boros Energy than Goryo's Vengeance ever was. So people are like, okay, like, if people are just going to play Blink, then, like, Energy's back. And if people think Energy's bad, they're going to, like, start playing less Pest Controls, less Rathus guys. And if people are playing less of those cards because they just want to attack for the Blink Mirror, then Energy just gets to sweep. And that's kind of what happened. I also don't, like, I've been saying this for forever, but I don't think Energy's Amulet Titan matchup is remotely bad. And so if your two best decks are Amulet Titan and Jeskai Blink, then Energy seems like a good deck for that tournament.
Yeah, I wanna so the board wipes thing is really funny because I guess I was testing at just the worst time, kind of like the inflection point of the meta, because I had that run of testing where I was putting Guide Pride in all my decks. I think multiple people sent me that Obosh Blink deck, which was playing Guide Pride and stuff, and I was like, okay, but what if I just put Guide Pride in Prowess? And then I was playing Guide Pride in Prowess, and it was really fun and really cool, but I was getting board wiped every other match. Just at a rate that I've never been board wiped in Modern in my entire life. So it's well, this is really cool, but I guess I'm off it because I'm just so cold to board wipes, and especially I was seeing a lot of Wrath of the Skies, which takes down not just the creatures but the cutter too. One of the super high roll things that happened on Saturday was that they had multiple. The world was my oyster. I could make any play that I wanted. I could make a value play. I could make the cutter play. I could do a non-cutter but still aggressive play. I kind of had all my options. The thing was I had 2 lands in EI, and if I whiffed on my 3rd land drop, then basically I did nothing for the turn, which I really didn't want to do. So I decided to go Cutter Bauble because I was it's fine. My opponent can't Wrath my Cutter next turn because they'll only have 3 mana. And so this is a really safe line. Unless my opponent has exactly Galvanic Discharge plus Wrath of the Skies, which my opponent had exactly Galvanic Discharge plus Wrath of the Skies. So it's oh, yeah, that's pretty good. I guess I'll just lose then. So I did get got by. Basically, I had one really bad Wrath of the Skies breakdown, but otherwise, regular Prowess is pretty hardy against board wipes because unless they're hitting Cutter, you can rebuild, and even if they hit Cutter, you typically are only going to expose 1 Cutter to Wrath of the Skies, and we have 4 EI, and I was playing fucking the Quantum Riddler drawing card. It's fine, it's not super cold to board wipes, but I saw so many in testing, and then yeah, like Nick was saying, there weren't that many in Vegas. People decided to use the slots differently, and Guide Pride went wide, and Steve Stillman re-queued for the Pro Tour.
Beat me to it. Shout out my goat, Steve. Re-queued. Boros Basement. We're back. Never been so back.
Boros Basement counter is at 4, and I think the goat counter is also at 4. If you're playing any games while you listen to the podcast.
Yep. Yep. I think the funniest Steve moment I'll say is I was like stalking his like MTG Melee for the whole time. So like, I knew like when he won or whatever, and then I saw he got like 2-0'd by Titan or whatever, and he was like 10-2 at this point. So he's now 10-3, and then like I checked Discord, little bubbles are popping up, like he's typing to me like, oh no, he's gonna tell me the bad beats. And so then the first thing he said was the camera curse continues, and I'm like, oh no, is this a feature match? Because I'm also watching the stream, but he's not on yet. It's like, oh no, is this a feature match too? And then within 5 minutes, I hear Corey Baumeister. Next up, we have Steve Stillman against whoever on Amulet Titan. I'm like, oh no, we have to watch this. And he like mulled a 4 game 1 and on the draw, and then mulled a 5 game 2. It was like abysmal. It was the worst thing I've ever seen. I was like, oh no, that's the feature match.
Dang.
But yeah,
Did he wait when he mulled the 4 on the draw? Did he play the game?
yeah, he did play the game.
That was the misplay.
I know. Well, yeah. It was funny though. He told
it
me
was
his
open deck list. I'm stupid.
Well, yeah, it was open deck list, but
I was playing the B class event. With
yeah,
closed
exactly.
deck
No
list.
open deck list. His 4-card hand was land Ragavan Blood Moon. So if any hand is going to beat Titan on a Molda 4, it's that one. So,
Wow.
Yeah. But yeah.
Well, speaking of, if I use that transition, then we're like way out of order.
What are you
But I think
transitioning
that's
to?
fine. Are we ready for a transition?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
I guess the moral of the story is Modern has never been better. So if you want to play a fun format, play Modern.
Modern's awesome. Yeah.
We'll probably talk more about Modern later, but yeah, Modern's great.
I guess. Yeah, darn. I almost. Okay, yeah, we'll transition. We'll talk about the future later. We'll finish talking about the past. Speaking of feature matches, I got gaslit twice in Liverpool. Like, so now switching to standard, we have the trash can meta of the format that is very difficult for WotC to manage, apparently. So I think it was when I was 2-0 or 3-0 at Spotlight Liverpool, and no, I think I was 2-0, and someone comes up to me and my opponent, and no, I don't remember this event well, to be honest, which I'll circle back to in a minute. But anyway, I was 2-0 or 3-0. Someone comes up to me and my opponent. He's like, don't kind of start unpacking your bags yet. You are the backup feature match. So I might move you to the feature area. We're just like waiting to see if like the other people lost in the previous round or something. So they were waiting to see if like the other two was still undefeated versus undefeated. It was a weird way that he was presenting it where like clearly they either wanted me or my opponent in the feature match, and like they basically they must have picked 3 people rather than 6 people. So either me or my opponent were someone they tagged as like third in line for feature match. And then we like hang out for a minute and he's like, no, you're good to go. So we just play our match. We're not the feature match. The main feature match and the backup feature match, the like player they were following must have been undefeated still. So I say to my opponent, I'm like, oh, yeah, if they wanted us potentially in the feature match area, you must not be playing Vivi. And he's like, yeah, we shuffle up, present, and he was playing Vivi, and he was like, yeah, no, you're the one playing the interesting deck, and I was like, I guess so. And then the next round again, or maybe it was 2 rounds later, but when I was X1, again, I'm about to sit down for my match, and the same judge stops me, and he's like, don't unpack yet. You're the backup feature match. We might need you. And I was like, okay, these guys really want to like put not Vivi on camera. And I was like, started 3-0 with Boros Mice, so somebody must have saw the list. And thought, oh, we want to maybe put this on camera if we don't have anything better. But yeah, then the wheels fell off, and I obviously didn't get a feature match. But I got gaslit twice, told like, oh, we might put you on the feature match. We found someone better. So that was an interesting wrinkle in an interesting day. I really enjoyed my trip to the UK. I've never been there. That was really cool. But like 5 days before the trip, I had this searing pain. And if we flash back to RC Hartford, you might remember the Friday before I would go on to lose my Pro Tour winning in, looking at 14 lands. Jacob was there. He watched it. It was really brutal. Yeah. I started that weekend by breaking my tooth. It was really cool. So, yeah, that tooth that broke, it was like fine. It was chilling. And everybody was like, you'll be fine. These guys were all there. I panicked when the tooth broke. I thought it was like serious stuff. I was thinking we're going to the ER. I'm dead. I'm gonna die. My tooth broke. And everyone's like, Stanley, you're fine. Like, it's fine. And it was fine. And so I thought it would be fine long term. Yeah, like 5 days before I was supposed to fly to the UK, this tooth just hurt so bad. And I went to some stupid dentist who was like, oh, well, you need a root canal, but the root canal guy is only here every other Wednesday, as long as, Wednesday is an odd numbered day and the moon position. And so they're like, we can't schedule for one before you leave. But I can like clean the tooth and put some medicine on it and do like a temporary crown and you'll feel better and you'll be fine. I was not fine. It was not fine. I hate this dentist so much. Like this half root canal that she did, it hurt. It did not help. And so like throughout my entire trip in the UK, my like tooth just slowly started to hurt more and more, and my ibuprofen dosage just like I bought so much ibuprofen in the UK. Like the dosage that I was on by the end of that trip was so beyond unhealthy. But like I every night like 4 or 5 a.m. I would wake up in searing pain. Like I would just wake up from the pain. And then it would take like an hour for the medicine to kick in and bring the pain back down so I could go back to sleep. Like
this is an awesome story. I'm really feeling the joy from the story.
It was so bad. It was so bad. So I was not in the greatest place mentally playing the Liverpool event. Like I felt like my deck was really good and really well prepared, and I even like after round 2 I just dismantled my VV opponent, and they were like, so you like prepared for this event, huh? And I was like, yeah, I did. Like they they had this like shocked, like you were ready, huh? Yeah, buddy, you're playing VV. I think most people are gonna be ready for you. But then, as I alluded to earlier, the wheels fell off in round 4. I misplayed several times. Even in round 2 when I won, I misplayed and I made a lot of misplays, and some of them were easy to see misplays, some of them were hard to see misplays. There were misplays of all flavors, but yeah, I was playing Stanley from 2 years ago, or probably most apt metaphor would be it. I was probably playing the way most people typically play Arena, just kind of act on instinct, whatever line comes to mind right away and looks good enough. I was very much just kind of letting the cards play me instead of playing the cards. I was missing a lot of the requirements of being really methodical, thoughtful, and precise. And so yeah, I went from 3-0 to not making day 2, and I didn't win matches on Sunday. I just play bad all weekend. So if your dentist says you need a root canal, get it right away. That's my main advice. Definitely be healthy for your events and get your root canals when you need them, Because half root canals, yeah, those don't do anything. Don't do a half root canal or whatever my dentist did. Like, if you need a root canal, just do it as soon as you can. Because honestly, the root canal itself, I got that after I got back. It was fine. The root canal itself, not bad. The recovery, not bad. I mean, maybe it's because I was used to like living life on so much ibuprofen and in so much pain, but like, I don't know. There's a lot of like, I've never heard anyone say, yeah, root canal's not bad. Everybody always asks like root canal is like one of the worst things that can happen to you in life. But no, 10 out of 10 would recommend just get the root canal so you can move on with your life. Cause
Yeah, nobody wants to eat like half a sandwich. They want the whole sandwich.
yeah,
So, like,
yeah.
like you're not gonna be like, I'm gonna get this half a root canal and save the other half for later. Like, no. Like, I would have just gotten a tooth pulled. Honestly, I'd be like, screw this, let's get rid of it. But then
Yeah.
all this means to me is Spotlight Hartford end of the year. You're gonna keep all your teeth when you come stay with me.
I sure hope so. I hope I'm like done with tooth problems. But if I have any tooth problems in the future, I'm gonna deal with them right away. It's not something you should delay. But
There is a Spotlight Hartford. Oh, the more you know.
the UK was unironically very cool. I really enjoyed my trip. Shout out A-Day. I played Ornithopter Cube. That was really cool. I've never played a cube before, so I went in with very low expectations. And I had a lot of fun. There were like 100 ornithopters in the cube, and Ornithopter was the only creature in the cube. So that was really cool. I actually won our little Ornithopter cube thing, and I had a very cool Galaxy Brain line where I like used Demonic Tutor to go get the MDFC from MH3 that can give a creature indestructible. And then I drew that for turn. And so then I ultimated the black-green Vraska that says if one of your creatures deals damage to your opponent loses the game. So I ultimate Vraska. I give my Ornithopter a 1/1 counter and indestructible. And then I Maelstrom Pulse my own Ornithopter because my opponent had a sack outlet to like counter Maelstrom Pulse if I target one of theirs. So I Maelstrom Pulse my indestructible Ornithopter to board up my opponent and kill them with Ornithopter number 25.
I thought you were gonna be like, I had this big brain moment, right? Demonic tutored for an Ornithopter. Who would have thought? I was losing it. I was like, no way.
That would have been pretty funny. No, I actually had to use my small brain and come up with a big brain line to end the game. So that was fun. Definitely recommend that. Withered Tea Place in the UK, very cool. They have lots of tea samples. If you were a tea drinker around the days of Teavana, then you would, and you like Teavana, then you would like Withered. Withered is like Teavana but better. So anytime there was a Withered, I would always go in and get like 4 free tea samples, and they had multiple hot chocolates too. Actually, this is kind of a funny story. So, the first time I go into Withered, there's like an employee working the hot chocolate station. And I hear her like offering like flavor A or flavor B to people. And as I get closer, I start to hear that she's saying, "Do you want sticky toffee pudding or mince pie?" And I'm like, no, I can't be hearing that right. Like, I haven't been in the UK for very long, but like, there's no way these people drink meat flavored hot chocolate. And then it's like, I'm next. And I'm like, yeah, she just offered him mince pie flavored hot chocolate. So it gets to me, and I'm like, yeah, I'll have the sticky toffee pudding. I don't want meat in my hot chocolate. So I don't even give it a second thought. I'm just like, I'm not having meat chocolate. Like, give me the toffee. And I just walk away. But then later, we returned to Whittard, and there wasn't an employee working the station, and the mince pie flavor is like orange and some other stuff. It was really good. There was no meat in it, but I was pretty stressed that I might be forced to drink meat flavored hot chocolate. Yeah, I don't know. I've been talking for a while, so I'm gonna stop talking now.
Well, do you have anything else to say about Liverpool, or is it the beautiful transition time?
I had a really good time. All the people there were nice. We made. I don't know. Have I talked about non-magic stuff too much?
No, I mean, you get to talk about whatever you want.
Nice. Okay, so this is gonna be controversial. We'll get some controversy going. So tipping culture in America. I feel like overall, people are like kind of tired of it or don't like it. Like, I I feel like a lot of people are anti-tipping culture. However, I went to the UK and got the worst service of my entire life. Everywhere we ate, it took forever to get a person to sit us down, no matter how empty the restaurant was. And the craziest thing was that, like, you finish eating and everybody finishes eating and you guys drink all the water and there's just like nothing on the table except plates and empty glasses. And then you still wait like 15 more minutes and someone's finally like, so do you guys want to check or something? Like, it was crazy. And I started to like make this joke like, dude, you guys need to bring tipping culture to the UK. This is insane. And all of the like UK people that I was with at first, they're like, no way, dude. Like, that's terrible. Like, you know, you don't know what you're going to pay. You have to do math, blah, blah, blah. But then, like, every time we would go somewhere, like, it would take forever to get to the table. It would take forever to... I'm like, guys, I'm just saying, it doesn't happen here. And by the end of the trip, like... 80% of the friends that I made in the UK, they were like, dude, Stanley, you're so right. Now that I'm like looking for it, like I can't unsee it. Like, seriously, we're done. We're just sitting here. We don't have drinks. We don't have anything. And no one wants to just like give us the check and let us leave. And it was so funny. They were like trying to analyze it and like, yeah, but how do you like, you know, talk to someone and like offer them the check without making them feel pressure to leave? Like, maybe you need a system, like you have to like pay before you get your food, this way you can like leave whenever. I'm like, guys, it's not that complicated. Hey, how was the food? Would you like your check or would you like to hang out for a bit? Can I get you any more drinks? And they're like, oh wow, yeah, they could totally do that. It was like mind-blowing that like someone could just, I don't know, like give good service and it would be fine. Like, if someone was just nice to you and like offered you the opportunity to spend more money, like it was funny, but like unironically, it yeah. So I was pretty neutral. Like, I don't mind tipping culture. I don't like love it. I don't hate it. Like, there's like subreddits dedicated to like anti-tipping culture. Like, some people really hate it. They just like hate it. I'm like pretty neutral. Like, I don't mind. It's great. It's fine. And now after going to the UK, I'm like, tipping culture is America's greatest innovation. Like, it's it's just insane. It was, yeah. There was a point. I'll just like quickly say there was a point where I was like so desperate for a drink that I had two cups, like my water cup, which was empty, and my like soda cup that was empty, and I was pouring the ice back and forth between the two cups to create friction to melt the ice so that I could drink the water. That's where we were at some point. Okay, sorry, go ahead, Julian.
I think it's funny that you're like really latching on to the like check concept, because when we went to Germany, that was something that they explicitly said. Like, well, first off, Germany was a little different because they were like, you're foreigners. That word is hard, apparently. And so when you go to a restaurant, like, they're going to reject you. Like, they're going to seat the Germans before they seat you and everything like that. But we were, like, explicitly told, like, you have to ask for the check because it's just the culture there that, like, here we go out to eat and we eat the food and we're like, okay, we're satisfied. We ate the food. We were here for 30 minutes, whatever, we'll leave, right? But there it's like a restaurant, like going out to eat is like an outing. Like you go out with your friends, you like chat, you're just there for like a good time. You get your food, then you stay there for a couple minutes, then you get a coffee or a wine or a beer, and then you just like keep chilling. And they don't like here you get pressured to leave. Like when a restaurant's busy, I feel like they try to like rotate through the tables really quickly. They're like, we don't care about those people waiting. They're gonna wait, like whenever a table opens, it opens. I just think it's funny that you like latched onto the checks.
Yeah, well, because see, here's the thing. Like, I don't mind asking for a check. And like you said, like, you want to hang out, you want to get a coffee or a wine or whatever. To ask for a check or another soda or, I don't know, just a puddle of water to lick off the table, like, there has to be someone to ask. Like, they would bring the food and then every employee would just disappear into like a portal into the ether, and they don't make eye contact. That's not a thing that they do in the UK. Like they just aggressively avoid eye contact. Like it was insane. It was like being in a Twilight Zone episode.
Did you ever try to go out to eat late? Like one time I remember we were going out to eat. It was probably like 10 p.m. local time, and we went on Google and we found restaurants that said that they were going to be open until like for at least a couple hours. Like we weren't going to go, they closed at 10, we were going to show up at 9:50. But there were restaurants that were like closed. Like they just decided, yeah, we're done for the day.
Yeah, we didn't try to, but I did notice that like a lot of places close very early. But I feel compelled to say something nice. So even though the service was terrible and it was hard to get what you wanted from the restaurant, like it's hard to exchange money for food. But once you got the food, the UK I feel like has a bad reputation, but pretty much everything I ate in the UK was really good. And I really liked like there was a lot of apple flavored drinks, a lot of raspberry flavored drinks, and a lot of elderflower flavored drinks. And the nice thing is that like the raspberry drinks didn't taste like a raspberry flavored drink. It tasted like a drink with raspberry. Like the raspberry soda tasted like it had real raspberries in it, not just like raspberry artificial flavoring. That was really cool. Like the raspberry really stuck out to me as like a delicious flavor in the UK. And the pizza was nuts. Like the pizza was really good. I had this delicious like pepperoni honey burrata pizza in Liverpool, and that was like insane. I got it like 3 times in the 3 days that we were in Liverpool.
Okay, so here's my question, Stanley.
Yeah.
I've flirted with the idea,
Yeah.
and it's still probably a less than 50% chance, but I've been thinking about maybe using Spotlight London as an excuse to go to the UK this year. Would you be pro or con?
So there's an issue with that I don't necessarily want to like break down on the podcast, but if not for that issue, I would 100% want to go. And I can tell you that if there's a Spotlight in London next year, I would 100%, like, we would 100% go. We would probably, like, me, Tatiana, and the baby would all go.
Well, that would work because Becky wants to tag along just to be in Europe. So
Yeah, like Tatiana loves London. I really had a good time. I would love to go back. 2026 I don't think is gonna like work for the family. But I'm 100% interested in going back, and like even if it's not for a spotlight, like our family will be visiting, we'll be going across the Atlantic, probably not in 2026, but definitely in 2027. I had a very good time. I'm definitely going back.
all right, well, if I don't go this year, we'll keep our eyes out for
Yeah,
spotlight in Europe, and maybe we can convince this gang to go, and we'll just go
2027
go
Euro
spike in
trip,
Europe spotlight.
Magic Euro
There you
trip.
go.
Nick, Julianne,
Yeah.
Jacob, the whole gang.
Yeah,
They're so convinced.
I like how
I was
Nick
gonna
is,
say they're like, yeah, whatever.
is looking like all weirded out, like we're not going to Amsterdam next year.
We'll see.
What do you mean
We'll see
you're
what
not
happens.
going to Amsterdam next year?
Well, depends on what happens. I
Like
still need
he's not
to.
gonna queue for the third Pro Tour of the
I
year.
still need to accumulate 24
What?
amps.
I don't know. I've seen a lot of Europe in the last couple of years, so I'm more inclined to go. If I'm going to travel the world to play Magic, I would like to go to Asia before I go back to either the UK or any of the places I've been to in the EU. So
Yeah,
That's
I thought
fair.
Japan. There's one in Japan that looked like a cool place to go as well. But when you start looking at the difference between traveling from Florida to the UK versus Florida to Japan, as far as pocketbook impact, it's a little more costly to get over to Japan.
I have like the UK was my first time leaving the US besides like a road trip to Canada when I lived an hour away in Seattle, or 2 hours or whatever. So it was really cool, but Tatiana loves to travel. She wants to go to Japan and the UK and all those places. So yeah, strong recommend. But get your root canal first. Yeah, all right. So also Spotlight Baltimore happened, and
All right, I'm gonna summarize Spotlight Baltimore so we don't have to spend
Perfect.
too much time talking about it.
I was gonna
If I
summarize
had
it
a
too.
nickel for every time Red Leyline won in Spotlight, I would have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it's happened twice. All right, that's it. That's all I need to
Yeah,
know.
good summary. That's my summary was gonna be the same, but not as good. So, good summary.
Oh, the only other thing I'll say about that, because people seem to ask it a lot, and I'm gonna say it publicly for the first time. People are like, okay, Mono Red won the Spotlight, so like, why would people not just keep playing Mono Red Leyline instead of like Rule Leyline, Boros Leyline, Is it Leyline? There's one answer, and this is the only answer that matters. The metagame was so warped that this deck only beat Vivi, and that's all it needed to beat, because Vivi does not have any meaningful interaction, and Vivi has to tap out in order to win its like do anything, and when it taps out, it loses to Leyline, right? So that's like the only reason that Mono Red specifically won this event. From now on, you should not be playing Mono Red. Like, it's literally just free to play a second color. So do that.
Heard and agreed. Also, how many ley lines did Alex put into play during top 8? I know
Yeah, we
you
talked
know the
about
number.
that too. Like, I think for the Spotlight I won, I mean, you can go back and look. I'm pretty sure I put in like 2 ley lines in the whole entire top 8, maybe 3, because like counting the match that was off camera. Whereas like Alex, I think opened with 1 every match and 2 in like 3 or 4. It was crazy. It was insane. I was like, I don't think I've ever opened with 2 ley lines like in a tournament match. Like, but yet like this guy just keeps opening with 2 Godsley. It was crazy. And obviously, just for the elephant in the room, like I'm not insinuating cheating by any means, but like you have to be lucky and good to win a tournament. Like he got very lucky with how many ley lines he opened with. Like I think the mono red deck is much more like ley line reliant because you don't have a plan B as much. So, like, the fact you're opening with 1 every single match, like, this wasn't even after mulligans. Like, he was just keeping 7s with, like, ley lines. I was like, I wish I could do that. That sounds awesome.
It was crazy. One of our, like, big deck building tendencies for ley line that you and I have is, like, the deck has to be good without ley line in play. Otherwise, the deck is not worth playing. Or you just start with ley line in play every game. But, like, the second color helps you play enough high quality cards that your deck is still good when leyline is not in play.
Yep.
But Alex played well. He played to his outs, and he earned a very cool trophy.
Yep.
And got everyone excited about leyline again, which is cool. So yeah, they made some bans in standard. Vivi was banned. Expected.
Hitler is dead.
Profs was banned.
No,
That was
that's
mostly
not
expected, but we were a little nervous they might not do it. Oh no.
They took it a step further. I was like, I don't think they're gonna ban more than Vivi. They said we're banning way more than Vivi.
If I'm being completely honest with you, I did not think Vivi was getting banned. I thought it was going to be Cauldron. The only reason why I didn't think Vivi was getting banned was not because of like power level of the card or like that. It was WotC, or I should say Hasbro Greed. And it's like, well, why would we ban the card we just printed? That's a mythic from Final Fantasy, our like most sold set ever. So I was like, oh, they're never gonna ban this card in standard unless like it'll be like the next ban if anything, but not the first ban it's like eligible to be banned in. So that's why I was like, I don't think they're gonna ban it. I was surprised. I was happy that it got banned, but
Yeah, I think there was just so much bad PR that like the tidal wave was just too much. Profs definitely needed to be banned, but was unclear if they were gonna ban it. If they didn't ban it, I finally said, if they don't ban profs, like, I'm playing profs. I'm done not playing the best deck anymore. Like, but they banned it, and then for some, there's a lot of words I could use here, but none of them are appropriate for the podcast.
Exactly.
They banned Screaming Nemesis, but like we all know why they did it. It literally happened 7 years ago. Rampaging Ferocidon. They were like, well, the red deck's the best deck, and we think that after banning these other cards in the red deck, that if we also ban this other card, just like hit them, like you get a ricochet for no reason, like we're gonna it's gonna stop it from being the best deck, which they're right. They did stop it from being the best deck, but also like it was the only card holding it together in the first place. So it's like I don't know. I get really upset where it's like I went years playing these red decks that were like the whole deck was $20 to put together, and I lost to everything. But I finally get good cards, and you ban them for no reason. But we get Ancestral Recall printed into blue, and it's like, what is happening? I can't have a 3-mana 3/3 that does things sometimes, but blue gets Ancestral Recall and mythics that are secretly you pull the mask back and it's a mythic, but it's an uncommon on the face of the mask. It's like, what are we doing every time? But I can't have a mythic. It costs $30. What's happening? Sorry, that's my rant.
No, I love it. I'm glad someone else is ranting besides me. It's just insane that Mono Red was 46% at the spotlights, ahead of the ban. It was 46% win rate. Reanimator was higher. Almost everything was higher. And they're like, so we're gonna ban 2 cards from the best deck because we know that it'll still be the best deck if we only ban 1 card. And then we're also gonna ban a card from the 7th best deck because it's played a lot on Arena, and content creators complain that there's no counterplay, even though every black removal spell is counterplay, and the white removal spells, and the bounce spells.
They banned Monstrous Rage, and no one blocked anyways. So why are we complaining about blocking when no one blocked in the first place? It doesn't make any sense. I'm so tired.
Agreed, 100%. People still don't block. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy the way that they like listen to content creators and keyboard warriors and then quote content creators and keyboard warriors in their like BNR announcements. How did Nemesis get banned? It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't it doesn't make any sense. Let's ban the best card from the seventh best deck. There's no counterplay. That's why it's the seventh best deck.
A moment of silence for
That's
Screaming
it's
Nemesis.
like I don't know if anyone here's seen like the Eric Andre show before, but it's like the scene where like they like he shoots Hannibal, and it's like, who killed Hannibal? And it's like, why is no one playing mono red? Oh, I don't know. Like the deck sucks. Like the deck like was held together by like a stiff breeze, and you just like took it away from us for no reason. Like I didn't even think the deck was playable. Like we had to put Scalding Viper into our deck to make it playable. Shout out Fire Shoes. He's the GOAT for that one. Robert Taylor, I appreciate you for that. You got me qualified for Portland with that. But, like, that card is terrible. Ogier, great commander card. Love it. Card is terrible. Not standard. It's a 4-drop that doesn't kill them when it hits play in my mono red deck. So, yeah. I would like to talk about Legacy now. I'm tired of talking about
I want to say our other local Pro Tour qualified player decided to play Scalding Viper Razorkin Mono Red at the first RCQ this weekend, and he came up to me and he was like, "Bro, what am I doing? This deck is so unplayable." I was like, "Yeah, I don't know if you just wanted to feel something or what, but it didn't seem like a great call." He's like, "Yeah, give me your deck list. I'm over this." So I was like, "Okay."
Yeah.
All right,
Damn
here.
sad.
All right, I will say positive things now. So, did Screaming Nemesis have to get banned? No. Mono Red would be an unplayable deck even if it was legal. But Standard is actually very good right now. Despite what Twitter wants you to think about Badger Mole Cub, Standard is actually a good format right now. Will this change with the World Championship in 2 days? Maybe. We're recording this before the World Championship, so like maybe the meta game is completely warped and the top 8 is 8 of the same deck. I don't know. Maybe that happens. But as of right now, Standard actually looks very good. You have the Simic Ouroboros deck, you have Ban Eng, you have Is It Lessons, those are like your boogeymen. But then you have like Dimir midrange, you have like 3 different control variants. You have, I mean, I don't have the metagame pulled up, but you have a lot of, you have the Is It Looting deck, like that's a different deck than the Lessons deck. You have Spider-Man, Gruul Leyline is putting up results, like Dimir Bounce, that's a deck. So Standard actually looks very good right now, despite the unfair red ban. You can still play red, as people are proving with like Leyline putting up results. Like you're still allowed to play that color. So yeah, don't be doom and gloom. You know, it still looks good.
You can be doom and gloom if you want.
Or you can be doom and gloom, but
Okay, but
Standard
also,
looks good.
Like, low key, I'm not gonna say that Valley Flamecaller is better than Screaming Nemesis, because Nick doesn't even know what Valley Flamecaller does. But as he looks it up, I'm just gonna tell you that Valley Flamecaller has absurdly overperformed in Boros Mice. Because you see, Valley Flamecaller is really a 4/3 for 3 mana. And because it buffs damage rather than like buffing your creature, your Hired Claw now attacks for 4 because of your 3-drop Lord. So the other cool thing it does is it's not legendary. So I just had a game where I was like, oh, I'm going to play a Flamecaller, and then I'm going to play another one, and I'm going to attack you for 5 with my 3/3. And then, like, I'm going to put a Hired Claw in play, and when I attack for 10 with my 2 3/3s, you're also going to get bolted from the Hired Claw that's not attacking. Card's been, like, kind of insane. Just, like, buffs every single creature in the deck, and you can play multiple, and it stacks. And Shadow Valley Flamecaller actually being a reasonable replacement in Boros Mice for Screaming Nemesis. And like arguably from a synergy perspective, maybe slightly possibly better. Because it's such a like synergistic deck, and Nemesis was just like, well, this card's so good that I have to put it in the deck. And we're all big Legend of Roku fans here. Legend of Roku is a really good red card. It does cost 4 mana and it doesn't kill my opponent right away. But for the grindy matchup, which does still exist, at least for now, we'll see how Worlds goes. Draw 3 that like then flips over into Roku is really, really good. You get to make dragons. And again, going back to Boros Mice, the other lord, Mabel, still very good. And Mabel's sword can be equipped to any creature. And Mabel's sword, I don't know if you know, gives +1/+1, vigilance, trample, and haste.
Thank you. I was gonna look that up.
Yeah, vigilance, trample, haste, and +1/+1. So I'm now 5 for 5, where I play Roku on turn 4, and then when Roku flips on turn 6, I go to equip Mabel's sword to Roku, and my opponent goes, oh, and concedes before I can make the dragon. Because Roku has Firebending 4, and for 8 mana, you make a dragon. So on turn 6, with my 6 mana, I spend 2 to equip Mabel's sword to Roku. Now Roku's a 5/5 Vigilance Trample Haste with Firebending 4, and I just use my 8 mana to instantly make a dragon. Unless I have like Burst Lightning plus Lightning Helix, then I just kick Burst Lightning in Lightning Helix and my opponent dies. But so far I haven't got to spend that mana yet because I just equip Mabel's sword and my opponent goes, oh, guess I'm dead. It's really cool. It's quite cool. But I'm gonna play Iceberg Control on Saturday, so there's that.
Everyone's favorite mono red player, everyone's favorite mono red only player, Percy Fang, is still in the MTGO challenge streets, top 8ing with cards I've never seen before. So, world's competitor Percy Fang, he'll be playing in 2 days. Maybe he'll make Stanley eat a Screaming Nemesis. Who knows? But
I forgot about that.
sorry, do you know? Here, I'll quiz you. Do you know what Murgundo Raceway does? He's
So-
registered 2 of them.
Actually, what's really funny is that I do know what it does by like process of elimination, because Spotlight winner Brennan Roy, who
Shout
who
out
is
Brennan Roy,
hanging out
fellow
on
Spotlight winner.
who is hanging out on the streets of my Discord. Someone posted that list, and then he responded to the list asking like why he's not playing the haste land.
I'm confused why they aren't playing the Start Your Engines land that gives haste. Just seems more relevant. Brennan Roy, fellow Spotlight winner. That's the first thing I thought when I saw this post.
Yeah, so I just assumed that was the one. So my response to him was like, I feel like maybe it was a deck registration error, and Percy just like the rest of us, doesn't know the name of the lands. So just from that comment alone, I'm gonna guess that Magunda Raceway is the one that makes 2 mana when you have max speed, since it must not be the one that gives haste.
Yeah, which
I'm actually pretty sure, Nick, that Daniel was running one of those on.
he was, and he explicitly said it was the worst card in his deck. I remember.
Yep,
but
he wasn't happy with it, but he was running it. That's why I knew what it was.
Yeah, I mean, I give him cast my Nova Hellkite on turn 4. Actually, I don't think you even get to do that because I don't think the speed works that way. But can't
No,
turn
it doesn't.
1,
1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, there's no way.
You can get max speed on turn 4. You can play your Nova Hellkite post combat. Very good, very nice. That's perfect. So yeah, standard.
Yeah, so Daniel posted that mono red deck, and I responded and I said, if mono red wins Worlds, I'll eat a Screaming Nemesis. So I feel pretty safe on that bet. To be honest, though,
I'm telling you, Quintanoli and Percy Fang They're gonna
Okay.
eat you alive.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest. When I said that, I did briefly pause and think about Quinn.
Yeah. Yeah,
But then I was like-
I'll say in the context of this podcast, I'm not really worried about Percy Fang, but I am worried about Quinton Oli. That
No,
guy,
no.
that guy can win with the mono red.
No, it's the opposite, really.
Oh,
I thought about Quinn, and then I thought, dude, that guy played Mono Blue Belcher at like the Pro Tour and an RC back to back. So I think he'll just play the best deck. Like, I don't think Quinn's gonna play Mono Red, even if he
Sure.
doesn't play the best deck. I don't think he's gonna like play Mono Red. But then, like a couple days later, Johnny, I think in the Discord, posted Percy's list, and I was like, oh no. Like, and I responded, I was like, when I made this bet, I was thinking about Quinn, but I totally forgot about Percy. Like, Percy was the guy who was grinding mono red during the content creator early
Yeah,
access event.
dude, it was crazy. I was like, what is this guy doing,
Percy
bro?
will play mono red no matter what. So I did like get a little bit nervous, but then I noticed that like the shared list was like 28th in the challenge. I was like, it's probably fine. But now we got 7th
He
in a
got
recent.
7th, yeah, 2 days ago.
so
5-3. That's Pro Tour top 8 level.
I'm a little worried about Percy. If I'm going to be honest, like Quinn, I think will play a real deck. I'm a little worried about Percy.
Oh, Percy. That's so funny. I have to tell my Percy story. I've already told the content creator one enough times. That was already lost its flair, even though it's amazing. But I was maybe I told the story last time too, but it's good enough. I'm just gonna say it again. So at the Pro Tour, Mikey, Young Dingo, he came up to us after his match. We're like, oh, how'd you do? He's like, I played against P. Fang. We're like, oh my gosh, you played against Percy Fang? He's like, well, I thought it was going to be Percy Fang because their name was P. Fang. So I went up to them and I was like, you're not Percy Fang. He's like, yeah, my name's Perry Fang. I just thought it was the funniest thing.
You know what's really funny? I played against Perry Fang in Hartford.
Did you really?
Yeah. And I also thought I played against Percy Fang, and it wasn't until like I saw the picture of Percy Fang that I was like, oh, what P Fang did I play against? Because my P Fang was playing mono red.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, Perry was also on mono red, so it was kind of
amazing.
funny.
2 P. Fangs in the Pro Tour streets.
Listen, I will not lie to you.
We know.
No, I like to lie, so I will lie to you. But in this scenario,
Hit us.
this Zhao card, it's pretty cool. I like it a lot. Now, I will tell you, every single time I have cast it playing mono red, it has died immediately. But
It's almost like it's a 2-mana 2/2.
hey, it's got menace and text on it. All right, so I will say any game where exactly one or more non-basic lands that are played tapped, I won that game.
Wait.
Any other game where it did not, I lost.
Hold on. I had a very important revelation. You can use Murugunda Raceway to level up your Zhao.
Oh wow, that's the tech.
That's the tech.
I
We
mean-
broke it. We figured it out.
Blood Moon is a great Magic card.
However,
how does
going
Blood Control beat
back,
Blood Moon?
they killed the 2/2.
They can't, Blue Eye Control has never killed a creature. I've actually never seen it happen. They just counter those things.
Going back to like when I was trying to prepare for Vegas and like kept running into board wipes, so I stopped playing Guide Pride, and then people stopped playing board wipes. Like because of the Simic deck and Badger Mole Cub, board wipes and removal spells that hit 2-mana 2/2s are at an all-time high. So I really don't think that it's the time for Zhao to like steal someone championship. Like it is not. The answers to what a mono red Zhao deck would look like are the same answers that answer Badger Mole Cub. So it's like not really gonna work. Part of the magic of like Leyline is that, especially our builds, like the Leyline was an alternate angle of attack that wasn't weak to the same hate as like the regular red deck. Like that's kind of when you're the red deck that is evading the format's current hate, that's when red is most powerful. But like people are main decking board wipes. It was really funny. I don't usually comment on Twitter posts. I usually just like make my Twitter posts and never open Twitter otherwise. But I like opened Twitter at some point, and the top post was some random content creator like complaining about a mono red aggro splashing white playing Day of Judgment. Which was really funny because I cast Day of Judgment in my red aggro deck the day before because I forgot to take it out of my sideboard, and it won me the game. Like legitimately, like, what do you want people to do to like against these like super go wide Badger decks? Like, you have to play board wipes. So I wasn't gonna comment, but then the top comment was someone like, dude, there's a Joshua in their graveyard. Like, clearly they're not just splashing for it's not mono red splashing for Day of Judgment. And I had to hit him with the like, what do you want red players to do? Just like roll over? Like, we're playing board wipes now. Everybody has to. It's Badger Mole's arena. Like, everybody else is just living in it. So curious what Worlds will do to the meta, but I could unironically register Day of Judgment in Boros Mice and not feel bad.
Yeah, standard looking goated.
You know it's good when you're putting Day of Judgment in your red aggro sideboard.
See, you're casting Day of Judgment, I'm casting Treasure Cruise. Like, it's amazing. It's great format.
I'm gonna cast Aang's Iceberg on Saturday. It's gonna be awesome.
Unironically, for how much I've cast the card Artist Talent in the last 3 weeks, I really want to try to play Ruby Storm in Modern because of...
So I'm gonna go.
Hey, card's been really cool. I've been enjoying it.
Just play Phoenix and Pioneer.
What? What's Pioneer?
My bad. That's on me. That's on me.
Yeah, I never heard of it.
What else?
Nick just mispronounced Popper.
Yeah, well, let's do a Storm player. So what, we got Standard at top of the food chain, potentially playable. Modern, goated, but irrelevant right now. Legacy, only relevant if you're going to Japan, but looks playable. Pauper, completely irrelevant, but very playable. And then, what other formats exist? Pioneer,
Brawl.
both irrelevant and unplayable. So yeah, good BNR.
I don't know. I wasn't very happy by the Nadu ban after I just finished buying all the cards for it in Legacy. I was like, oh, sick, this is going to be a great deck to pivot to, and Reanimator gets banned out of the format, and I was wrong.
Yeah. I don't want to be the MH3 villain.
Well, I mean...
It's not been a good year for Magic player wallets, that's for sure.
Yeah.
That is
They've
true.
printed and banned a lot of expensive cards this year.
It sucks, too, because I was, like, sitting at a booth in Vegas looking. Not, like, a MagicCon Atlanta, sorry. And, like, I was like, I can buy these City of Traders to finish Mono Red Stompy and Legacy. Or, I can build Nadu, which seems way more fun. I was like, I'm gonna build Nadu. And then it got banned. So.
Well, the expensive cards in the deck at least are like just duels, right? So you have duels now?
I have more, but I could have less. And own City of Traders.
Alright, my bad.
So... Yeah. I feel like there was one more topic, but I don't remember what it was.
I don't think there was one more topic. The only thing I was gonna say, I'll take the role of the coordinator here, is I think our goal, since we were like so bad about doing podcasts last 2 months, is we're gonna come back next week, like right after Worlds, and talk about what happened at Worlds. So this is like our pre-Worlds recap of everything that's happened, and then next week we'll actually talk about Worlds and the implication on Standard, because I have a feeling we'll just expand on everything we talked about today on Standard next week, and then also talk about like Standard post-Worlds.
I accept.
Type.
See if it turns into a world of Badger Mole Cubs.
Doesn't Lorwyn come out literally the weekend before the RC in Portland?
Yes.
Like, official release
Yes.
weekend is the weekend of the RC?
Yes.
Yeah.
Has anything been put out about it not being allowed to be played that
It
weekend?
will be legal.
Okay.
It will
They,
be,
they explicitly said it will be legal instead of
Because-
it won't be.
Okay, for everyone listening, let's get this straight. The only reason why that happened that one time was because it was the weekend of pre-release, which limits vendor, like, I don't know, there's some weird business thing. I think it limits, like, card sales or something, even though the cards are legal. That's why they said, oh, for this RC and this RC only, it will be legal. But let's all remember, pre-release makes cards legal. You have a week to get them. It will be legal. Don't think otherwise.
Well, it was the RC that wasn't legal was RC Portland last year. So
But that's because the RC
Yeah.
was pre-release weekend, not release weekend. They're different.
it's really annoying. Maybe I'll go to Milwaukee instead. Who knows? You know, it's the best deck to play during a brand new meta. Mono Red.
Zao the Moonslayer, Magurndo, Raceway.
I mean, there's going to be 5 more non-basic lands in the format. That's shocking
See?
to enter tapped.
It's amazing. Someone's not going to read it. They're going to shock themselves and you're like, oh, that's tapped. Sorry.
I'm not here for it. They didn't have to do what they did.
Hey, maybe it gets unbanned.
It's not going to be.
Wow.
Don't count on that
That's-
one, folks.
That's some copium, yeah. Do not expect unbans.
Here. I will say, your life drastically improves once you realize you have no effect on what happened. It's banned. Alright. It's over. No reason to think about it, no reason to talk about what would have been, it's banned. Is what it is. We have no effect on what happens for this game. All we can do is move forward and decide if we want to keep playing or not.
Well,
Spoken like
That
someone
ignores
who
all the
doesn't
stages
love
of grief.
screaming Nemesis.
I don't know.
You're ignoring all the stages
I'm a bit
of
worried
grief.
about this next BNR when it comes to Modern. I'd like to see Urza Saga not banned in Modern, but that's just it's just a me.
The only other thing I was going to say about Modern, since you brought it up too, is Modern is awesome. Modern's great. If you had to pick one thing about Modern, is they should probably ban Aim of the Titan. Whether it's for a power level reason or a time constraint reason, I don't really care. Like, I think it's too powerful and it's too time consuming, so get it out of here. But that's like the only thing you can like critique. Besides that, Modern looks really good. And I think if they did ban something from Aim of the Titan, it'd probably be Aftermath Analyst. So
I was gonna go back to the Nemesis ban one more time and say, like, hands down my favorite reaction to the ban. I'm gonna read this quote from Torster, word for word. The presence of Badger Mole Cub has been noticed in Standard. We agree the card is too powerful for the format, allowing you to play vintage-esque game, spewing out your hand, with cards like Nature's Rhythm allowing the deck to be more consistent. With all that said, Hired Claw is now banned in Standard.
love that.
It's like so on brand for like Red continues to not be the best deck, but just like catch bans. Anyway, thanks for listening. I don't have anything else to say.
Shout out Heavy Play. Shout out Flex Slot. And we'll see you guys for the Special Worlds episode next week.
Go win some RCQs.
Yeah, win some RCQs. Cast Ancestral Recall. Trust me.